want to talk today about an article I wrote called It Doesn't Have to Be Overwhelming. And I want to show how a simple shift in our perception of reality and relationship to reality can shift the overwhelm that you might be feeling, that we all feel just from our regular to-do list, not to speak of the whole world going mad. Now, I believe that the overwhelm occurs because of our consciousness, because we are in the mindset that we are here alone. We're born into individuation. We are on our own, and we have a to-do list in the modern world. We have a to-do list, and we just have to go through the to-do list. And it's a lot of things that are not that fun to do many times, right? And so that mindset of separation, of individuation, creates an endless to-do list that just keeps regenerating. So there's the external things, there's family things, there are finance things, there's work things, and then add to that self-care, spiritual practice, building your confidence or shifting your identity, or all of the different courses and experiences for personal work that you're doing. And then the list is there too. So the list is just doubling as we're advancing, as culture is evolving. The list is growing. And then as a space holder, you're holding space either in your personal life for people in your life, you're holding space for yourself, and then you're holding space for your clients, people you work with. And so it is overwhelming. It's like saying the list is overwhelming to think how many things we each need to do in the external world to survive, to thrive and live on purpose, and then in our personal life, in our internal lives, and then supporting others and helping others as space holders. So here's the shift that I'm inviting you to try out. It's profound simplicity. It really is simple. Instead of thinking that you're alone and you're doing these things on your list that are out there in the world that you need to do, think of the fact that we live in a vibrational conscious universe. Okay, that's one of the foundations of the expansive living framework and expansive living method. We live, instead of separated and having to do everything alone, we actually live in a web of life. We live in this web of life that's vibrating with intelligence that we have named consciousness. So everything is made of consciousness, and everything is part of the web. And you are part of that web as well. And so that means that you can tap into a relationship with everything that you need to do. So instead of it being these things that you need to check off on your list that you need to now muster the courage or the discipline or the focus to do, you can ease yourself into a relationship, because that's what reality is, much more than individuation. It's a web, and you are part of that web of wholeness. But so is your task. So is the interaction that you're about to have. So is the project that you're working with. And so are the people that you hold space for. So move into the relationship between your to-do list items instead of being the one who has to do everything and the list is just growing and the overwhelm is growing as well. Move into the relationship. Settle in. If everything is conscious, then it's not just human beings that are conscious. The project that you are working on is also alive. It also is coming into being from the non-physical, from the level of consciousness. And so work with a project. What do you need now? How can I be present for you, this project, in a way that will be more productive, more efficient, but also more effective? How can I bring more ease to the project? And bring your project to be your ally into relationship. There's a there's a practice in the expansive living method, which I call immersive presence. Immerse yourself into the relationship instead of you being here and having to be so superhuman and efficient that you're doing everything. And if you're super focused, then you can get through a long list and you're exhausted. And then you need to go in a retreat in order to have 10 days off and silence to then come back to the grind. That's one view of the world that we're living through, and it's exhausting. But if you live in a conscious universe and everything is alive, then you just come into relationship with whatever you choose to focus on right now. So if it's your project, if it's your business, if it's your next client showing up that you need to hold space for, what do they need? How can I show up to this relationship of my business, my project, my deadline, my client? How can I be in relationship? And you can just practically just ask. I'd like to be in relationship with this project. Project, what do you need? Business, what do you need? Presentation you need to do. Talk with it. We all talk with ourselves anyway, right? Either quietly or out loud. So we might as well have a conversation that's going to be meaningful, that's going to be much closer to the nature, the true nature of reality, and start working with your project to create your project rather than have to do it alone. The same is with everything. Your finances. Your finances are a living presence in your life. It has a nervous system. It has a belief system. When you think of your finances, you shift your nervous system, your belief system, your thoughts, your emotion. It shifts. And then if you think of something else, that shifts again. So there's a built-in relationship and you can change it, and you are much better off, so much more efficient to be in relationship with your finances than to have to be this person who now has to tend to your finances. And so this is with everything, with your body, your self-care, your next meal, your next meeting with someone, your project, your business, nature. Walk out into nature and notice that you are in relationship with nature. If you see something in nature and it's beautiful, it's emanating this beauty that is now awakening your capacity to experience beauty. That's a relationship. That's not you going out to nature and feeling beauty. The tree is emanating beauty. It's touching you. That's awakening your capacity to experience beauty. And then you're in this presence of beauty with the tree. And suddenly you've entered a new sphere, a new dimension. And in this moment, when you have entered it and you feel the beauty, there is a relaxation of your nervous system and your emotion. And it's like, I should have done that earlier, or I should do this more often. These are thoughts that come out of this relationship with going to sit under a tree or going for a walk. So this is the shift from overwhelm to being in a relationship and to co-create, to truly co-create with a conscious living universe. Your world is conscious and alive in you. And if you go into relationship, it's going to shift completely. You are not alone anymore. You can always ask. So one of the practices is just, if it's your business, ask your business to come and stand as your ally here by your side. How can we do this project now, business? How can we do this in a different way? How can we bring more creativity, more ease, more focus? Be in relationship with your business. Your business is going to start to give you information, because your business, even if you have built it with your 10 fingers by yourself, it is a living presence that's coming from the non-physical, from imagination, and coming into form, some form in our material world, in this world. And so you want to be in relationship with it. You will have so much more information. So another principle of the expansive living method is the expansive principle. The more you expand your view and your awareness, the more you open the field for, you expand the field of information that you have available to you. And by consequence, you have a larger field of creative solutions than if you're just thinking of something very narrowly. So invite your business into dialogue with you. Invite your next client before they show up into business with you. Invite your parent, your child, your next meal, your body, your self-care, nature into relationship with you, and the overwhelm will begin to dissipate because you will not be alone in the world anymore. You will have allies and partners everywhere you turn, whatever you focus on. And you will feel that you're living as part of a web, of a living web. So try this out. It's very simple and it's profoundly transformative if you try it out. I'd love to hear your experience. Share with me where you got stuck, where it was an aha. I look forward to engaging with you. Blessings.